Now, in the previous lectures, you understand how you can create a basic WordPress theme. But this is not the aim of this complete course. The aim of this complete course is to make you familiar with the premium theme development. So in this session, I'm going to show you how you can create a premium theme in WordPress. So before we start creating a premium theme, I'm going to create a simple HTML and CSS template and then convert it into WordPress theme. I'm going to use this HTML and CSS template to create a WordPress theme. So let's get started and see how to create your own premium theme in WordPress. So I'm going to first create a new folder on my desktop and I'm going to name that folder template. And I'm going to open this folder in the Visual Studio Code editor. Now as you can see, I just opened the template folder in this VS Code editor. Now I'm going to just create a structure of this project. So I'm going to create a new folder in this structure and name that folder assets. And inside this folder, I'm going to have different images and the CSS and the JavaScript files. And just out of that, I'm going to create one more folder here and name that folder vendor. Don't worry, you can name these folders anything, but for reference, I'm going to name it vendor. And outside of this folder, I'm going to create a new file. So I'm going to click on this new file icon and I'm going to name this file index.html. So this is the main file of this template. And just out of that, in the root directory right here, I'm going to create style.css. So as you can see, in the root directory, I have two files, index.html and the style.css. Now inside this asset folder, I'm going to create three folders. So I'm going to first create here a CSS folder. Then I'm going to create JavaScript folder. So I'm going to just say here JS. And then I'm going to create here images folder. Like this. And inside this vendor folder, I'm going to have my vendor files, just like the jQuery files, the font awesome CSS files and all that. So I'm going to first create here a new folder and name it CSS. And inside the vendor folder, I'm going to create JS folder. And just out of that, inside this vendor folder, I'm going to create fonts folder. And inside these fonts, I'm going to have my different fonts for this template. Now let me just explain my folders. So inside this asset, I have CSS, images and the JS folder. Inside this CSS, I'm going to create my different CSS file. You can learn how to create a CSS in the modular way. So I'm going to show you how you can use CSS in the modular way to create a website. So that is why I use here CSS folder and I'm going to put all the modular files of CSS inside this CSS folder. Just out of that, I have here images and inside these images, I'm going to have different images of this template. And then we have JS folder. And inside this JS, I'm going to have my main.js file, which we are going to use to create a toggle button. Just out of that, we have here vendor folder. Inside this folder, I'm going to have CSS, fonts, and JS folder. Inside this CSS folder, I'm going to put font awesome file. Inside this fonts folder, I'm going to put my different fonts. And inside the JS folder, I'm going to put my jQuery files. Now, just out of that, you can notice we have index.html, which is our main file. And then we have the style.css to style this index file. Now, what I'm going to do is, before we move on, I'm going to just copy a few images and put that images inside this images folder. So I'm going to just copy a few images. So I'm going to just copy these images and paste it inside my project directory in the images folder. So I'm going to just open my project directory and right here in the asset folder, inside these images, I'm going to paste all that images here. Don't worry, you can download all these images down below. Now, once you have all these images, just get back to your editor. Now, once you have all these images inside this images folder, let's move on and create a simple HTML5 snippet. So I'm going to just type here exclamation mark and press enter. So when I press enter, I'm going to have a simple HTML5 snippet here. And I'm going to just specify title to it, which is WordPress template. And just out of that, I'm going to link this style.css. I'm going to simply call here link tag and I'm going to just link this style.css here. Once I link it, I'm going to save all the changes and open this file in the live server. I'm going to just open this index file in the live server. So I'm going to right click here and say open with live server. Now once you open your index file in the live server, you can notice this will open your default browser on the localhost 5500. The port might be different on your localhost, but the result would be same. Now once I have my template file in the live server, and now let me explain how I'm going to create different tags in this VS Code editor. For example, let's say I want to create here a division tag. I'm going to just call here div and press tab. So when I press tab, I'm going to have my simple division tag here. Then if I want to create here a division tag with the class, then I'm going to create here div and then press dot here to specify a class to it and just say here class name. When I press tab, I'm going to have here a division tag with the class name, right? Now there is one more simple way to create division tag in the Visual Studio Code editor. So if I just specify here dot and then specify the class name, for example, if I just say here m2, and when I press tab, I'm going to have this m2 class to this division tag. So the division tag is the default tag in VS Code editor. Now let's say you want to specify ID to the division tag. In that case, you just need to call hash here and then specify your ID. So I'm going to say here my ID. When I press tab, I'm going to have here a division tag with the ID my ID. Now what if you want to create different tag and specify class to it? So suppose I want to create here a paragraph, then I'm going to simply call here p, then I'm going to simply specify dot here to specify class to it, and I want to specify para class to it. So I'm going to say here para and press tab. When I press tab, I'm going to have here a paragraph and I'm going to have a simple class to it. Now what if you want to create a tag with the multiple classes? You can do that as well. Let's say you want to create h3 heading tag with the class text. So I'm going to put here dot text and I want to add one more class to it. So I'm going to say here dot again and then specify my second class. So I'm going to say here color. So when I press tab, as you can see, I have h3 heading tag with two different classes, text and the color. Now you're not limited to only specify 2 or 3 classes. You can add multiple classes to any element in the VS Code editor. Now you can see me doing this throughout this course. Now let's get started and create 3 main sections of this template. So I'm going to first create here a simple command in the HTML like this. And I'm going to say here header area. And I'm going to close it right here. I'm going to say and header area. And inside this command, I'm going to have a simple header tag. So this is my simple header area. Then I'm going to create here another command and name it main site area. And I'm going to just close this command. So I'm going to say and main site area. And inside this main, I'm going to have here a simple main tag. And just out of that, I'm going to have here a footer. So I'm going to create here a command and say footer area. And I'm going to close this command with this command and footer area. And inside this command, I have footer tag. Now as you can see, we have 3 main sections of this template. The header section, then we have the main section of this website and the footer section of this website. Now before we start creating these 3 sections, I want to add jQuery and the font family which we are going to use throughout this template. So I'm going to just open a browser and on the new tab, I'm going to search for font awesome. So I'm going to just open this font awesome website. Now using this font awesome website, you can include more than 1500 fonts in your website. So there are 2 types of fonts in this website, the free one and the paid one. So I'm going to use free fonts in this website. So I'm going to click on the start for free. So just need to click on this download button. So I'm going to just click on this download button and download this font awesome package. So you just need to click on this button. So I'm going to just click on this button and download this font awesome package. So once you download this package, it will something look like this. Just click on it and just extract this file. So I'm going to just simply extract this font awesome package. So as you can see, once the file is extracted, just open the font awesome folder, and right here you can notice you have different folders here. Now once you open the font awesome package folder, just open the CSS folder, and inside it you have the all.css file. So you just need to copy this file and paste it in your vendors folder to use the icons of font awesome website. So I'm going to just copy this all.main.css file and paste it in my project directory in the vendor folder. So I'm going to simply open my project directory. Then in the vendor folder, in the CSS, I'm going to paste that all.css file. And just out of that, once you copy this file, you just need to copy this folder, web fonts. So before we copy it, I'm going to rename this folder to icons. So I'm going to say here icons. I'm going to copy this folder and paste it inside the vendors folder. So I'm going to simply open my project directory, and right here in the vendors folder, I'm going to paste the icons folder like this. So here we have all the icons. Now just out of that, I want to add this all.css to my index file. So I'm going to just simply open my editor, and just before the style.css, right here, I'm going to just add link tag, and I'm going to select the vendor folder. Then I'm going to select the CSS folder and select all main.css file. And just out of that, once you save all the changes, you need to inform this all.main.css file that I'm going to use all the icons from this icons folder. So we need to inform that in this file. So we need to first open this file and edit it. So we need to first open this file and specify the path of this icons file. So what you need to do is you just need to open the all.main.css file, and inside it you just need to search for the web font folder. So I'm going to press Ctrl F, and right here I'm going to search for web fonts. So as you know, we renamed this web font folder to icons. So we need to rename this. So we need to just change this web fonts to icons. So I'm going to just replace it with icons. So I'm going to simply say here icons, and I'm going to just click on this replace all button. When I click on it, you can notice we just changed the web font to icons. Save all the changes and close this file. So that's it. Now you can use any free font from the Font Awesome website. Just out of that, what I want to add some font family in this website. Now once I have all my icons in my template file, let me show you how I can add different font family in this template. So I'm going to just open my browser, and I'm going to just close this tab and open a new tab and search here Google Fonts. And from the Google Fonts website, right from here, I'm going to just include few fonts in this template. So I'm going to just search for my favorite font. So I'm going to select here this font, Montserrat. To select this font family, I'm going to just click on this plus icon like this. Just out of that, I'm going to select my second icon, Velvet, this one. I'm going to click on this plus sign to add this icon. And you can notice we have two font families here. And I'm going to just download these two font families. So I'm going to just click on this download button. When you hover over this download icon, you can notice we have this download option. So I'm going to click on it and download both these icons. Now once you download this font file, it will something look like this. And in this file, you have your font family. So I'm going to just extract this file right here and copy this both font family and paste it inside my project directory inside the fonts folder. So I'm going to simply open my project directory, and inside this vendor, I have this fonts folder. So inside it, I'm going to paste both these folders. So once I have both my font family in my template directory, I can now use this both font family in this template. So I'm going to just back to my editor. I'm going to just first create a new CSS file in this asset folder. In the CSS folder, I'm going to create a new file. So I'm going to click on this new file icon, and I'm going to name this file variable. So this is a modular file. So I'm going to first specify underscore here and specify the name of this file. So I'm going to say variables.css. Now keep in mind, you can specify any name to this file. To identify this is a modular file, I'm going to specify underscore here. Now in this file, I'm going to create my different variables which we are going to use throughout this template. So I'm going to simply first create here a command, and I'm going to say here CSS variables. And just out of that, I'm going to create here another command like this, and just say here font family. And right here, I'm going to add both these fonts in this CSS file. So to use this font in this template, we need to call a rule of CSS font face. And to this font face, you need to specify the font family and its location. So in the font face, I'm going to specify font family. And the font family, I'm going to specify name to this font. I'm going to say here Mont. And just out of that, I'm going to just say here source. And in the source, we need to specify the source of this font family. So I'm going to just specify here URL. And in this function, to specify the path of this font family, you need to first specify the root path of this project. So I'm going to first specify here dot forward slash. So this will refers to the current directory. If we specify double dot and forward slash, this will refers to this asset folder. And if we just say here double dot and forward slash, this will refers to the root directory of this project. And in this root directory, I have this vendor folder. And inside it, I'm going to have fonts folder, the font family folder, and then I'm going to select this regular.ttf file, this one, right? I'm going to just copy these 3 lines, paste it down here, and I'm going to first create here a comment and say railway font family, and just change this font family to rail. Along with that, I'm going to change this source as well. So I'm going to specify this font family source here, and I'm going to select this regular.ttf file. I'm going to save all the changes, and now you can use both this font family using this font family name. Now once you know that how you can add different fonts in your website, let me show you how you can add variables in this template so you don't have to repeat yourself. So in the CSS section, so just out of this command CSS variable, I'm going to select the root selector, and inside this root selector I'm going to create a variable. So to create a variable in CSS, you need to start with a double dash and specify the name for your variable. So I'm going to first create a variable primary color, and I want to specify hex value to it. So I'm going to specify here hex value to this primary color, like this. So as you can see, I just specify hex value to this variable. So if I want to use this color to my any HTML element, I'm going to just simply call a var function, and inside it I'm going to simply call a variable name, which is primary color, like this. So this statement will specify this color to the CSS property, as simple as that. Now let me just quickly create few variables. So as you can see, I have bunch of different variables here. So as you can notice, we have color variables, the font family variable, and the border variables. Don't worry, you can download the structure of this project down below. So once I have all my variables, I'm going to use this variable when I create my style.css file. Save all the changes, and just out of that, I'm going to create my main.js file inside this asset right here. Inside this JS folder, I'm going to create my main.js file, and I'm going to link this file inside my index file before the closing body tag right here. I'm going to create here a comment and say include script files, and in the script tag, in the source attribute, I'm going to specify the path of this main.js file. So I'm going to specify asset folder, then select the JS folder, and then say main.js. And before this main.js, I want to add my jQuery file. So I'm going to add here a command and then say include jQuery script file. And just out of that, I'm going to create here a script tag. In the source attribute, I'm going to specify the path of my jQuery file. So we need to first create jQuery file in this project. So I'm going to simply open my browser, just close this tab, open a new tab, and just search for jQuery. And from this jQuery.com, I'm going to download the jQuery file. So I'm going to click on this download jQuery and just click on this download the compressed production jQuery file. When you click on it, you can see we have this file here. So I'm going to just select all this file data. So I'm going to press Ctrl A to select all this data, copy it using Ctrl C, and just back to my project, I'm going to create this jQuery file inside this vendor folder. So inside this vendor, inside this JS folder, I'm going to create jQuery 3.4.1.js. I'm also going to specify the version of the jQuery using the name of the file. So inside this jQuery file, I'm going to paste all that content. So I'm going to paste all that code inside this jQuery file. Save all the changes and just close this file. You don't need to touch any code inside this file. Open your index.html, and inside this source attribute, I'm going to specify the path of this vendor jQuery file like this. I'm going to simply create here a command and just say custom script file. Save all the changes and now we are ready to go. In the next lecture, we'll start creating the header of this website. So I will see you in the next one.